I burned my hand, and trust me, you don't want to see this. But today's video, the question is, was Michael Jackson a narcissist? Well, let's get into it.
The Narc Ninja, bringing you the tools and tactics to heal and deal with users and abusers. And now the Narc Ninja himself, Christopher Fairchild.
Hi, and welcome to the Narc Ninja channel, bringing you tried and true, tested and approved tools and tactics to deal and heal from narcissistic abuse. So, was Michael Jackson a narc? For one reason or another, I have been connected with MJ for over 30 years, and there's so many connections, it could fill an entire video, but I'll just share a few. I've even been in the same room with him before, but we still never got to meet. It was for an amazing party I helped coordinate in the penthouse suite of what is now the Hollywood Athletic Club. And I think it was a birthday party for a very young sensation, sweeping the world for her role in Dreamgirls, a woman by the name of Jennifer Holliday. And I remember throughout the suite were antique bathtubs filled with champagne fountains and also chocolate fountains. And he was there. Off the Wall had just dropped a few years earlier, and his star was rising so fast in a new way no one was expecting. Then an extended family member of mine's very first boyfriend in college went on to be the blonde guy in the Beat It video, and then became a very famous choreographer and choreographed some of Michael's most iconic music videos. My family member was the last girl he ever dated because he came out as gay right after they broke up, and they're still friends to this day. His name is Vincent Patterson, and he's not only a creative genius, but a very kind and very thoughtful human. My all-time favorite Patterson choreography was the Smooth Criminal video. My ex sold giant inflatables to the entertainment industry and worked very closely with MJ's team for several projects, and I myself have been a huge fan for years. Such an otherworldly talent. And although we never got to meet, I did recognize something in him that we shared, even when I was a little boy. It was an I thing. I thought I could see, that we both had suffered severe early childhood trauma. And that background may also resonate with you, I don't know. I'm not a diagnostician, but I have done countless years of research on all these mental health issues, and all of that work is why I share these informative, hopefully, and healing videos with others who have also survived narcissistic abuse. Let's take a look at the 9 criteria of NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder, in the DSM-5, and it only takes 5 of these to qualify you for this disorder. Number 1, a grandiose sense of self-importance. Well, I mean, I think he was a little off the charts on this one. Just look at some of the artwork he had commissioned for himself as a king, as an angel surrounded by angels. I think that qualifies him. How about number 2, preoccupation or fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love? I think, once again, he was forever preoccupied with being the very best, the king of pop, the most caring, the most moral. At least that's how he demanded he always be depicted. Number 3, believing that they are special and unique and can only be understood by or associate with other very special or high status people or institutions. I think one of his best friends was a giant NPD by the name of Elizabeth Taylor, and she was off the charts, if I've ever seen one. Number 4, requiring excessive admiration. Required or not, he sure got it. In fact, being the most famous of all, almost his entire life, is such a rare thing. I'm not sure the mental health community can even fully understand the emotional and mental health impact of all of that. I mean, just at that level of isolation has not yet been studied. Number 5, a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with their expectations. Well, I think when an entire shopping mall closes down just so you can go shopping in the middle of the night, that next level celebrity privilege must have some kind of an unhealthy impact on a person to have quite unreasonable expectations of their world. Number 6, being interpersonally exploitative, taking advantage of others to achieve their own ends. Not so sure about this one, although I do know that Quincy Jones has been quoted as saying that MJ was very Machiavellian in his business dealings and had no problem tricking people into getting whatever he wanted. I also know, having watched the Martin Bashir interviews, that he could look a person right straight in the face and lie like a cheap rug. Number 7, lacking empathy or unwilling to recognize and identify with the feelings or needs of others. Well, here I am thinking this particular criteria is not the best match for him. I believe he truly cared deeply about the suffering of others. I also believe that this criteria may be the most important one in defining narcissism. In fact, I have heard some people wanting to rename NPD as empathy deficit disorder. Number 8, often being envious of others or believing others are envious of them. Here's another example of something I'm not aware of in his profile at all. And number 9, the last one, showing arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Well, I'm sure living all these years in such an ultra-indulged manner, he almost had to be guilty of some kind of behavior like this, at least sometimes. Something not mentioned here is his constant posturing as a poor, vulnerable waif who everybody was out to get, to lie about, or to bully. That he was the eternal victim does remind me of how vulnerable or covert narcs tend to pose themselves. I mean, the entire world is always so unfair to the poor covert narc. But in his world, his overwhelming, over-the-top universe with that level of global fame, there were many times that people were out to get them. He was often just shredded in the press as being a sort of an alien, and they repeatedly called him Wacko Jacko for his many eccentricities. Narcissism is cultivated by parental over-evaluation, and it is also cultivated by a lack of parental warmth. I know that due to the terrible abuse from his father, Joe, even the mention of his name would make Michael sick to his stomach. All of his siblings also, by the way, have voiced in, saying that of all the kids, Michael always got the worst of the abuse. I also conjecture something maybe a little different here. Let me know in the comments what you think. But having worked with severe abuse survivors of all ages for the last 30 years, another common thing we see is arrested development. Now, in normal early childhood development of a healthy child, there is a natural narcissism that we all possess that starts to notably wane between the ages of 7 and 12. In Michael's case, there may well have been some development disturbances that kept him at least partially stuck as an eternal man-child. That, coupled with his extraordinary life, it occurs to me that he never stood a chance to ever know normalcy. And as I have never heard of Michael getting any psychological intervention to heal and deal with all the dysfunction, distortions, and abuse, what emerges for me is a profile of extreme pain amongst the jewels of his heavy crown. He was a true blessing to so many of us, and I'm not so sure we as the general public were the same back. Now, I'm not addressing the other allegations because I'm sure we will never really know the truth about any of that. I do hope that he is resting in peace, in the peace he never got to know while he was here. And I so hope that you found this interesting or informative. If so, subscribe and like. It really helps my channel grow so that others can see these videos. Please leave me a comment below with your thoughts on MJ. And thank you for sharing this moment with me today. Now, go be you to the full, beautiful. Namaste.